Okay, so good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Wild Birds Unlimited. My name is Cheryl, and I am here to have a conversation with you about citizen science. And I just want you to be prepared. It's not what you think. It's really not. And it's not that complicated. So by definition, citizen science is the practice of public participation and collaboration in scientific research to increase scientific knowledge. We all want to be smarter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that would be I would get a rousing applause.
Yes, I want to be smarter.
So what are the benefits? Because we're human and we all want to know what's in it for us, we're going to talk about that right up front. So what are the benefits that we receive as people participating in citizen science? So for one, it gets us out of the house, even if it's just your backyard. It gets you away from your phone, well, not necessarily, but away from your television set and the computer. It helps us engage with nature. It helps us engage with others. It helps us to think, our intellect, our brains, to help think outside the box in ways we normally wouldn't. And just a note, observing birds and bird watching has been known to actually develop brain cells and neurotransmitting pathways. Thank you. And there was a study done with brain surgeons. So there was a brain surgeon, and he happened to like observing and watching birds. And he required his students to take up that hobby because he wanted to see if it would make them better at what they do. And it did. Even if they didn't like it, because, it's not for everybody, they continued to do it because it did make them better students and it did make them better surgeons. Our community benefits from our participation, and nature, wildlife benefits from our participation, and when we participate in it, it makes us feel good. And we all want to feel good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So ways to watch birds and contribute to bird science. So the first thing is that we have is it's called Project Feeder Watch. And this started in November, and it goes through April 2026. And it's a survey of birds that visit your backyard or other locations in North America. And you don't need a feeder. Although you don't have to leave your backyard if you have one. But you don't need one. All you need is an area that has bird habitat and water or foods that attract birds. It provides you with a flexible schedule. You count your birds as long as you like on the days of your choosing. And then you enter your counts online at feederwatch.org. And we're going to get into what all this citizen science equals in a little bit. There is a fee. It's a nominal fee. It's $18. And the money goes to support, through Cornell Labs, the project. The next one we have is coming up in February. It's called the Great Backyard Bird Count. It's free. It's fun, and it's easy. You count the birds in your backyard for as little as 15 minutes or as long as you want each day. So while you have your cup of coffee. During the 4-day event, and February 13th through the 16th, 2026. And you report the sightings on birdcount.org. Again, this is Cornell Labs of Ornithology, who are the gods, actually, in the United States of birds. Yes.
Do you have to know what kind of birds they are, and write that down, or do you just count all birds?
No, I'm going to show you how you, with your phone, you'll be able to identify the birds. So you're one step ahead of me, Lori.
Awesome.
But the answer is no. You don't need to know.
You don't have to know.
No.
Okay.
So one that I really want to encourage people to do is the Audubon Christmas count, bird count. And prior to the 20th century, hunters engaged in a holiday tradition known as the Christmas side hunt. So they would choose sides. I don't know how they chose sides, but they did. They go afield with their guns. So that's like old English terminology. And whoever brought back the biggest pile of feathers and furred quarry won. Well, Frank Chapman, who was one of the first ornithologists in the United States, was getting concerned because he was seeing the decline in birds already in 1900, guys. So he decided instead of hunting, maybe we ought to count them and observe them. So he started the first Christmas bird count on Christmas Day in 1900. Okay. So there were a total of 27 dedicated birders, 25 bird groups. So really that meant one birder per group, basically. 90 species were counted. So I want you, it's not like they had cell phones. It's not like they had email. It's not like they had Instagram to announce it. They had the telegraph, because not everybody had a telephone, because the telephone was just starting in 1900. So it was either word of mouth or telegraph is how he got the first bird count started. So I just think that's amazing. It still is the longest running community science bird project. And this year it starts on the 14th, 2025 through January 5th, 2026. And you can sign up through the local Audubon Society. You can sign up through Arizona Game and Fish. And you can sign up through the Desert Rivers Audubon Society that's local. You can check online. There will be sign-ups starting in December where you can sign up, and they'll be looking for volunteers. And I did this. I did a Christmas bird count with my daughter in 2021, and I went ahead and did it in 2022, and you'd think I would sign up for my area, but actually at that time, because COVID and the shutdown, there was nothing in 2021, there was nothing happening here. There was no Phoenix bird counts. So we had to go up to Flagstaff in the snow, and we did a one-day event. And because we're novice and we didn't know what the heck we were doing, and we'd never done it before, they stuck us with 2 people who really knew what they were doing. And I learned so much about birds and just the act of observing. And in counts, especially the Christmas bird count, you don't have to know the bird because you're with someone who does, but you don't have to see the bird. You can count if you hear it. And which totally blew me away, because that's really cool. And I learned then from these birders that if you watch a bird make its call or sing, and you can identify that bird, you have a picture of that bird singing, you will recognize the song. So you don't have to see the bird again, but if you hear that song, you'll know it's, I don't know, cardinal. You'll know it's a stellar jay, or you'll know it's that because you saw it. So you put your ears and your eyes together, and your brain connects it and stores it. Isn't that cool? I mean, and you don't need your eyes next time. It'll pull it up from your audio.
That's
I'm like,
forming new neurological
yes, yes. So my daughter likes to say that bird watchers are connoisseurs of wild movements. So just think of it that way. That's so cool. So there's other ways that you can participate in citizen science for birds. We have made it so easy to count and record birds. There's eBird, there's Feeder Watch, which is the little woodpecker right there. There's a Merlin ID, and there's smart feeders if you want to use them that way. So the Merlin Bird app, here you go. You see that's our first one up there. So Lori, you probably have that on your phone already. Yes. So with the Merlin Bird app, you can identify the birds so many different ways. And that's how you would, if you press the sound ID and it picked up that bird that you didn't know what it was, it will identify it for you.
I really like that because, and that these events allow you to identify from the sound, because a lot of birds you didn't even know are there until you hear them. I didn't even know they were there until Merlin heard them.
Right.
That's
Right.
how we found the verdin.
Yeah. So it's a great way to identify birds, and even a bird that you're not seeing but you're hearing, and that counts. So in backyard bird count, as long as it's within the parameters of your yard, even though you don't see it but you hear it, it counts. And it counts with the Christmas bird count as well. So, and it's all recorded the same way. So eBird is another app, which I have on my phone, but I'm fighting with it right now. But I have an account with Cornell Labs, and that's what eBird is. It's an account on Cornell Labs where you can go in physically and either through the eBird app or through your computer, you can tell them, I was out hiking November, what is today? 7th. I was out hiking November 7th from 6 to 8. This is approximately where I was, and these are the birds I saw. And you just check them off. They're going to give you a list based on the location that you are, and you can check them off. If it's a sparrow, you know it's a sparrow, but you don't know what kind of sparrow, they give you a place just to put sparrow. And you can add details. And what's cool about eBird is not only is it recorded, is it uploaded to a Cornell lab, so they have a record of your eBird, of your bird lists, but you keep it. So it's a way for you to keep your observations, your audios if you record, which they need recordings of birds. They're always looking for new recordings of birds. If that's something you want to participate in, that science, then you can actively seek out birds, record them, and send them to Cornell Labs. And if it's acceptable, which means if the recording fits their parameters to outsource it, they'll add your name to the list, and you can be under that list. I mean, when I press on the great horned owl recording, that recording of that great horned owl from Macaulay Library, which is Cornell Labs, their audio, is from 1959. I'm like, come on, guys. We can do better than that. But people aren't. And they did that with a recorder. That means that someone went out, because they don't have cell phones, they went out with not even tape recorders. They went out with a microphone, and they had that old-fashioned thing. Yeah, that's recording, and they had to carry that stuff around. So at night. Oh, my gosh. So really, with the technology that we have available at our fingertips, there's no reason that there really is very little negative to participating, and it's going to be important, as I will point out shortly. So there's other ways that you can participate. So Celebrate Urban Birds Project is really cool. I have pamphlets right here. If you've got kids, this is a way that you can take children or grandchildren to the park, and they can fill this out. They not only learn about the birds that they're seeing at the park, but it helps the science, the researchers, to keep track of what birds are flourishing in urban areas and what birds aren't, and how they can change or manage the parks and habitats that they have to either discourage, if there's like too many of one bird, and encourage more diversity. And you mail it in. It's the old-fashioned way. They have a whole, if you went to Cornell Labs of ornithology, and I think I posted the site up there, or I have it at the end. Yeah, I did. birds.cornelllabs.edu, you can go to how to get involved, and you click on the downward arrow, and you click on participatory science, because that's what citizen science is now called. And they give you all sorts of opportunities to participate either online, or they give you the kits like this for kids or adults, whoever. And then you mail in your information. So they're constantly collecting information, not on birds, but on insects, on plants. It's pretty cool. It's a great tool to have. There's Nest Watch, which is also at Cornell. It's a project supported by Cornell Labs. Again, it's a citizen science project where you're monitoring nest boxes. Kestrels right now in Arizona are on the decline. It's pretty serious here in Arizona. So I know that Arizona Game and Fish are looking for people who will put a kestrel nest box on their property and monitor it. So you can go to their website and check that out. Be careful, because they know they eat birds. So you put a house next to the fast food restaurant, right? Yeah. So there's Maricopa County Library District. So we have the Southwest Regional Library right down there in the corner of Guadalupe and Gilbert Road. No, not Gilbert, Greenfield Road, excuse me, Greenfield. Right there where the water ranch is. They have kits for everything from monitoring air quality to observing wildlife available to check out through the library system. And they give you a way to record that information, collect that information, record it, and then give it to those people who want it. And it's like not costing you anything. It just costs you time. It's a great opportunity for homeschoolers, or you need something to do with your grandchildren, you know, if you have them. Or, you know, just like me, I'm just curious. So I've checked out a couple. I've done monitoring air quality just because I wanted to know what it was about, and I was a little disappointed in my findings. I should have picked a better time. Summer's not really the time to monitor air quality. But it was cool because it was science, and I learned how to do it, and science to me is a challenge. So if I pick a project that has a beginning and an end, and I've got myself thinking outside the box of what I think science is, I can enjoy it. And so that's really what participatory science or citizen science really is all about. Arizona Game and Fish has backyard bats with hummingbird feeder study. Now that just ended. It's going to pick up again, I believe, in May. I think that's when the bats, April maybe. Yeah, spring. So watch for that on their site. And they're looking for people who want to monitor their hummingbird feeders. If you don't want to put a camera out there on your feeder or by the window so you can see what's going, you monitor by how much is missing at night. So yes, basically, so you make sure you know how much is in your hummingbird feeder before you go to bed, at night, and then you check in the morning to see if there's a change. Which I have done too.
Our feeders?
Yes.
They can? Okay.
Yes, it's been documented. That's why they're doing it. So they're tracking 2 nectar feeding bats. One is new to the area. One they didn't know was in Arizona that came up this far, and through this study they found out about it. And generally speaking, the bats don't come up this far north, they thought, until they did this study. So it's ongoing. They're learning about it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do it next year. And all the links are there if you guys want to take a picture. If not, I can provide the information afterwards. All right, smart feeders. The only reason I included smart feeders is because they're connected to your phone or your computer, so you can see the pictures. WBU Mesa doesn't have a preference. We're not even really sure how they would work here because of our full-bodied birds that like to land on open feeders, and the fact if you chose hummingbird feeders, I'm just going to stick this out here, if you chose a hummingbird feeder, which they do have, you still in the summer, you either would have to take it down or change it every day. So we haven't quite landed on what we want to do, but the reason I mention it is because it gives you options. It gives you another way to participate in these projects. This way, not even leaving your house, you don't even have to go outside, and you just upload the information or share the information with either Project Feeder Watch or Great Backyard Bird Count. So there we go. So how does our participation in citizen science help birds? Does anyone have, you're going to want to read them off to me? Or tell me if I miss one. So the more information scientists have, the better the understanding of what's going on in the bird world. Together, as groups, there's probably, I don't know, 100 of us to one researcher, and I'm probably even underestimating. It's probably thousands. We can cover more ground than a research team, and when we can cover more ground and there's more people, there's more diversity in the data collected. It increases the collective knowledge of scientific areas of concern. And the Southwest is greatly understudied, so I really want to encourage people to participate because something exciting is happening, and we're getting, in the next slide I'm going to tell you, we're getting the recognition that we have long fought for. And our desert birds greatly need our support, which I know there's an error there. I just saw that. I'm sorry. I did. So MODIS has arrived. It's a big deal in the state's migratory birds, for the state's migratory birds, and it's thanks to citizen science. So I did everything that I shared with you up to this point has gotten us to this point. So MODIS is a wildlife tracking system. MODIS means movement in Latin. It was installed at the Gilbert Riparian Preserve, I believe in September of this year, maybe a little earlier. So what MODIS is, we're all familiar with, I have a picture, we're all familiar with researchers walking around with these receivers, and they're searching for the animal that they've got a GPS collar on. Okay, well, that's MODIS, but, that's MODIS, but only handheld.
Interesting. So these are installed at the riparian?
There's one there. There's one there. I'm going to show it to you. I'll tell you where it is, and I'm going to tell you why it's so exciting, because I'm really excited about the opportunities. I really am. So MODIS is cutting-edge technology being used to answer many questions about the wonders of bird migration. These are sandhill cranes. My picture, too. I'll just plug myself.
No, I think that's good to give
Yeah.
the photographer credit.
That's my picture. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of I think that day I took over 250 pictures. That's one of the few that isn't blurry. So, what is MODIS? So MODIS is a program that went online in 2015. It's only 10 years old. It's led by Bird Canada. Yay, Canada. It's a nonprofit, all right? It's in growing partnership with a network of scientists and organizations on almost every continent. It uses small radio transmitters or neotags, which I have a picture of in just a moment, to track migratory animals. The nanotags and the small radio transmitters are for animals that fly. All digital data goes to one place. It optimizes research and conservation resources, and it collects data on hundreds of species simultaneously. Birds, bats, butterflies, and bees. They're tracking bees, guys. So how it works. Researchers attach the little nanotag to the species they want to track. Nanotags send out a signal when they fly by strategically placed Motus towers. So the water ranch, the Gilbert riparian, is now a strategic spot for bird migration. The signal can be detected up to 12.4 miles away. The radio pings from the transmitter and sends, this is so cool, individually unique digital encoded signals that broadcast several times a minute on a frequency that is shared among all the towers on all the continents. Okay, so let's just sit with that for a minute. Motus collects the data provided by the radio signals, such as bird's arrival, the bird's departure, length of stay, even how they use the habitat. The information is downloaded every 3 months to the main center, which is in Ontario, Canada, because that's where Bird Canada is. Why does this excite me? I'm going to tell you in just a minute. But Motus stations, there's 1,500 across 31 countries, 400 projects, tracking 250 species of birds, bats, and insects. We are on the map, guys. We have arrived. That's why I'm excited. And what does it have to do with citizen science? Well, it's exciting because it's collecting details about Arizona's birds, seasonal migration, and migrational patterns. Finally, someone is paying attention to the challenges of Arizona's birds. It's important for land management and water usage for wildlife, because they take this information and they'll look at it and they go, oh, they are really using this particular area. So we need to manage this area or work this particular, like the Gilbert riparian, if it's well used. Yes, maybe we need to add more. We could do more. How do we make this habitat better? And maybe we don't need to worry so much about another habitat because they're not using it. So it helps conservation and the state and cities figure out how to manage their land. And water is always important, especially in Arizona. It has everything to do with citizen science because it was those advocates who counted year after year after year to record the dramatic fluctuations in migratory bird populations. So all of that information that I was sharing with you, or that has been done over the years, that people have collected by participating in the Project Feeder Watch, in the Great Backyard Bird Count, in the Christmas bird count. It took us longer, but we got enough information there for them to see that, oh my goodness, Arizona, Southwest Arizona in particular, we need to look at this. We need to do a better job of studying what's happening in this area.
So that's the value of our participation, is that it brings attention to these big issues that otherwise are being ignored.
Yes, thank you. You said that very well. Now, a lot of these projects are east of the Mississippi. Why is that? Because there's more people there. Bird feeding has happened longer there. That's where Ontario, Canada, and Cornell Labs have a working relationship. So west of the Mississippi has kind of like been an afterthought. So it's all of us here who are bird advocates saying, hey, we think we have an issue. Come over here and look at it. We need help. We need your support. So so our local organizations powered by citizens advocates, and that means our local Audubon societies, have worked with Arizona Game and Fish and the U.S. Wildlife Service to get this Motus Tower. It is only the third one for Arizona.
Oh, wow.
So I know that there's one in Tucson, and it's near some grasslands, because our grassland birds, which is what a kestrel is, are having a really hard time right now. They're in decline, but it's attached to non-functional windmill. So there's a windmill that's just standing there, not spinning. And they attached a Modus tower to it. It might be on private property, which means they had to get permission, which is really cool that someone would do that. But yeah, and I don't know where the other one is. I think that was the first one. Where the third one, I'm not sure where the one in between is.
But each of those is only a 12.4-mile radius.
Right.
So, wow, we need more.
We do. And they are. There's plans to put 10, at least 10 more. They're hoping for more than that, but 10 more. So what does this mean? Well, get excited. This is what I'm excited about because it means more workshops to teach people how to tag as more birds are tagged, which means more people involved, which means more birds get tagged, the more information gained. And they've already had, and I missed it, their first workshop.
Oh.
I know.
So to be clear, you're saying, are citizen scientists trained to tag birds, or is that only for
No,
real
they
scientists?
take you. They not take you, but you go to the workshop, and as soon as I can figure out when they're going to have their next one, it's kind of like right now. It's like there's probably like a waiting list, so it's who you know, and I haven't met that. I haven't networked enough in there, so I'm probably
You do know, then we'll
yes,
know you.
yes,
You know, okay.
that's it. So I probably have to go to more Desert Rivers Audubon meetings. But yes, they teach you. So they will net the birds, and then you participate in tagging. And so there is not so there will probably be someone who's maybe had experience tagging, but they're not a researcher. And so the domino effect spreads out the more you get to work with. So, there might be one researcher and he might have 10 citizen advocates, and then they might have 10. And then think of that if you, I'm doing math again. Math I should not do. So, but that's a lot more birds than one researcher could tag in one group. Yeah.
I thought that would be reserved to,
No.
PhDs
No.
or something. But
No.
You
No.
can do it as a citizen scientist.
Yes,
Very cool.
because here I'll just stick this out. I'll just put this out there. You can get on. You can go and watch them tag bats. So you can go to what's called bat netting, and the Arizona Game and Fish does it, and I believe it's whenever the bats are. Right now, the bats aren't moving. Yeah, so they usually do it. You can check on their website, or maybe when Jeff is here in January, we'll ask him. Because I've been to one. I was there, North Scottsdale, and then there was one in Cave Creek, and I went to 2 of those. But it's because I knew someone who got me on the list.
What organization is this Jeff person?
He's Arizona Game and Fish.
Game and Fish. Okay.
The education, and they do it, and it's open to the public. Like they only take like 25 people. That's why there's a waiting list, because they have to manage 25 people, and sometimes there's just Jeff or someone there, and that's about all the people they can manage. But yeah, and then you can see them tag, and they show you the bats. I mean, they actually, because bats bite, they don't actually let you do that. But I have been to hummingbird banning. Yes, and you literally get to hold the hummingbird, and while they put the ban on, or they'll hold the hummingbird while you put the ban on, and then the hummingbird sits on your hand, and it goes, yeah. But it used to be that when they tagged birds or butterflies or bats, they only got the return information when they re-netted that bird, bat, or butterfly. But now they've got these little nano tags and the Modus towers, so once they tag it, they don't have to worry about recapturing it.
Exact one, which is
Right. So
$1 million, I would think.
yeah, so see why I'm excited? I'm just so excited. So here we go. Here's a picture. That bird has a nano tag on it. And that's our Modus tower. And I don't know if you're familiar, if anyone's familiar with the Gilbert Water Ranch. Do you walk it a lot? Okay, so there's 7 ponds, but there's those 4 main ponds, and then there's the bird pond where they fish. Okay, so but there's those 4 ponds that come together at the center of the ranch, where they're filtering water, where all that you hear that running water, and there's a restroom off to the west. Well, there's a light post just off to the north of the, I'm very bad at this, but just to the side of the restroom, there's a light, a lamppost. And that's where the Motus Tower is attached. So that's our Motus Tower at the Gilbert Water Ranch. The arching part is the light. It's not part of the tower. The tower is all and it goes all the way down the post. It has to be grounded for lightning. So that's something they have to watch. But yeah, it's there. It's happening. We're happening now, guys. So it is really cool. I mean, among us bird advocates, we talk about, the problems that we're having here, the long droughts, less water, water not being shared properly, and desert development. So all of this science helps conservationists or advocates fight for what birds or wildlife needs. And the more people that get involved, the faster it happens, because there's more information out there. So it seems like science happened, or efforts happen so slowly. Well, that's because, first of all, they have to collect data, and they have to get so much data together to support what they think is happening. And that takes time, unless you get a whole lot of people involved in a way to do it in a more efficient manner.
Yeah,
and so it's
can only be in
right.
one place at a time.
That's right, and it's right here. It's right here in Gilbert. It's right here. It's right here. So anyway, that's all I got. But I'm very excited, and I hope that I've at least encouraged you to think about it.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
So any questions?
I don't have a question, but I want to thank you, because I honestly had no idea. So you talked about preconceived notions about what it is, and I really had no idea, but it makes so much sense that, like I just said, one scientist can only be at one place at a time, but so if they have 100 citizen scientists helping them, they can collect so much more data, and so it's awesome. I think that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And
the fact that you made it clear that it's so easy
It's easy.
to get involved. We don't have to go out and
Right.
slave away out in the
No,
prairies.
no. There was no hiking involved, really.
I mean, you can, right? If you want to,
Yes,
but you don't have
but you don't have to.
still
You
be
can,
helpful.
yes, and participate, yes. And they've made it, there's no qualifications. You don't have to have a certain amount of education. You just have to have a cell phone and be willing to download an app, basically. And technology is really, really helping birds. And
Or know
birds,
somebody that has a cell phone, so like
Right.
a parent could be
Right,
the conduit
right.
for if a kid wanted to
Right.
participate. They take
yes,
that's
yes.
very cool.
Yes. So, yeah. And birds, they're like the canary in the coal mine. They're letting us know that
For our environment that we
for our
should be able
environment,
to-
yes. So for our environment, yeah. So, yeah, cool. So, I like to post my resources. So those are all the websites I went to where I got my stories, my information, and other than personal experience. And I don't use any AI-generated information. I do everything the hard way. So, because, AI doesn't really know what it's talking about 100% of the time, so I don't trust it.
It will confidently say things that aren't true.
Yes, so I just,
And convincingly.
yes.
Confidently, convincingly saying
You're going to be doing this presentation again on Wednesday?
Yes. So again, the presentation in-house in here will be Wednesday evening, November 12th at 5 p.m. if anyone's interested in a repeat performance.
What's the address here?
Thank you. 2136 East Baseline Road, Suite 2, Mesa, Arizona.
And then Gilbert Road and
Oh, yeah, cross streets are Gilbert and Baseline. And we're in the, oh dear. Yeah, the Sprouts Trader Joe's Plaza, thank you. It's the northeast corner, isn't it? North, yeah, thank you. Jeez.
north side, east corner.
Yeah, I had to think about it. Yeah. So, directions and math, yeah. Anything with numbers.
Awesome, thank you.
So, all right. So I don't know, I did print these out. So,
Oh, I'd like to see.
Laura, you want to take one home? It might work in the backyard. It all depends on what's in your backyard. Greg, you want one?
Yeah.
You got it.
My daughter's sitting in her backyard.
Nice.
So it gives you everything. And now, okay, so you just have to take into account that they made it for the East Coast because we don't have Baltimore Orioles. But you can cross that out and change it.